Okay, there is a day in the life of a fool or Black Orpheus or Carnival. It's got 3 different names. I don't know where that comes from, but that's a good way to expand your catalog. Just give every one of your songs 3 names. So this version I just played is suitable, I guess, for solo fingerstyle guitar. You could add some other bass notes, but it was mainly designed to be played with a trio or a jazz quartet or something, and still have some of that Spanish rolls in it and stuff like that. But I think it's a nice little arrangement. I've tried to put as much movement into the piece as possible. I'm sure there's other things I could have done with it if I would think harder. But anyway, for instance, this, instead of just, doing it like that. So we're trying to add a little more movement in some of the other voices and that gives it a little more spice, a little more, makes it a little more interesting. Tell you what, let me play this with the track so you can kind of hear what it would sound like in a group setting. There it is with the track. So I like to do it kind of on the slow side. I think it's a beautiful song. I think it's best done a little slower. I think the track here is at 100 beats per minute. I mean, you can do it faster if you want. Anyway, let's get into it with some close-ups and get this tune under your belt. All right, here we go. All right, we're starting off our arrangement. The note starts with a pickup, or the song starts with a pickup on beat 4 of a note E. Now I'm going to harmonize it with, instead of an E7, I'm going to harmonize it with an E7 flat 5 or a B flat 7 flat 5, however you want to look at it. But I like the flat 5 because then we go down to the A. Okay, so the first measure here is an A minor with a C on top. So got those 3 notes with the bass, and let that bass ring out. And now what I'm going to do is come down here. I used to play this like this. So it would be like, but I find that kind of boring. You want as much movement as you can. So I'm going to put a G sharp there. So I've got that A minor major 7, and then an A 6th, and then that's going to go down to this B7 minor 7 flat 5, which almost looks like a G9, you see. So it sounds like this. 2, 3. So you hear it? Isn't that a nice sound? Then we're going to go to this, B minor 7 flat 5. And now I'm going to grab a, if I want, I could grab a low E here. And that would be on beat 3. And I think I'm going to write that back in there. And then I'm going to grab, on the triplets, a F diminished up to a G sharp diminished. And then we're going to go to it, an A minor 9. So I've got these 3 notes. Okay, and then I'm going to do a picking pattern. So it's 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So first off, measures 1 and 2 sound like this. 2, 3. Okay, measures 3 and 4 sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and again. So there's our first 4 measures. Let's play all 4. 2, 3. Now measure 5, I'm doing the same similar thing. I've got my A minor chord, my A minor major 7. Now I'm going to substitute an A augmented 7 to take us to the D minor. So, and when I play the D minor, remember, this is meant to be played with the bass player. So I'm not going to, otherwise I would fill the bottom note in there and play this. So I'm going to just leave it like this. So it looks like an F major 7. So it's... Okay, then I'm going to go to a G augmented, and then up here to a G looks like an A augmented with a 9. It's a G7 with a flat 5. Okay? And then to my C major 7. So it's... Now in measure 7 here, I'm going to play this picking pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then to a diminished, and then 1 and 2, 3, and then right up here to an E diminished. So C sharp diminished, and then to an E diminished, same thing, right? So those 4 measures sound like this. Measure 9, I've got a D minor 7 here. Then I'm coming and putting this D minor with the C in the bass. So again, I'm covering these 2 notes here, like that. So I've got, and then to a G9. And next to a G7 flat 9, which is a B diminished. And then I'm going up to a C sharp diminished, and then to a D diminished. And that's a diminished chord on every note of the diminished scale. Okay, so those 2 measures sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2. And those are those quarter note triplets. And if you have trouble counting quarter note triplets, think of the song My Way. I did it my way. I did it, I did it, I did it. So it's 2 equal beats, or 3 equal beats over 2 beats. So it's 3, 4, I did it, I did it, I. That's how you count. That's how I like to count it. Next, on measure 11, I'm going to this C major 9. And then I'm going to grab, I could grab the C here. And then to a C7 flat 5. Looks like that. All right. And then to a F6-9. Looks like this. Then an A minor 7 to a G7, or you could call that an F diminished if you wanted to, and an A7. So those 4 measures, 9 through 12, sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2. Measure 13 now, I'm coming up here to this B minor 7 flat 5. It kind of looks like a D minor, you see. So we came from here. And I like to just use first, second finger, grabbing those 2. Then an open B, and then down to this B minor 7 flat 5. Arpeggiate it. And then I'm going to resolve it to this, it's like an F and an an F and a G sharp. And I could, if I wanted, to keep the B in here like that. So I go. So. Yeah, let's put that B in there. Then I'm going to play this. These 3 notes, then an A minor, and then an E7 like this, and then to my A minor 9. do my little. And then to a, it looks like, it's like a B minor 11 flat 5, but it looks like an F major 7 flat 5 as well. And then to an E. And then I'm going to come all the way up here because I'm going to play my next chorus in a different area of the guitar neck. So for measure 12, I've got this. 1, 2. All right, let's take with the metronome, drag out that dang metronome. We're going to put it at 80 beats per minute. And let's go ahead and play it with the metronome as best we can. So again, we're keeping strict time. A lot of times, you know, this song is best played more rubato. There's versions of it being really, really slow, medium tempo. There's even some fast songs. I don't care for that like that. I like it a little slower. But let's do it at 80 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3. We're starting our second chorus. So what we're going to do is we came from here. And you know, as a cool little sound, you could take this and just go, isn't that a neat? If you wanted to, you know, you could add that. If you're doing it rubato especially, so I would go. And then, okay, so now I'm here on this A minor 7. And then I'm going to go to a G sharp diminished. And then it looks like a D9. Okay. And then to a B minor 11, actually, flat 5. Looks like that. And then to an E7. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab a D, a B, and a B up here. So, or I could just go D, E, and B here if you wanted to. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay. And now we're going to play our A minor 11 like this. And if you're wondering why there's so many E's there, because look at, I've got an E here, an E here, a B and a C, and an A. So I'm going to go across like this, and then I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and let's see, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and then down here to this guy. And then grab that open E again. So those two measures sound like this. 2, 3. I didn't execute that well. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and okay, something like that. 1, 2, 3 and 1. That sounds more like it. A little faster kind of makes it a little easier. Measure 21 now goes to an E minor 7, flat 5. Looks like that. Then an A here. Then to a closed inversion of that chord. Then to an E diminished, which is like an A diminished, A7 flat 5, or flat 9, excuse me. Then down to a D diminished, to a C sharp diminished, and then we're going to play this D minor 9, all 5 notes. And the way I like to roll it is something like this. And then we're going to play this picking pattern. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Just brush it. And then one more time, we're going to play the chord. So it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3. 2, 3. Then we got to play this pickup note here. All right, there's 21. Let me play it one more time. 2, 3, down, 2, down, bam, bam. 25 now. I've got D minor 7 right here. Then I'm going to come down to a D minor 7 with the C in the bass. So it's like 1, 2, 3, and I'm playing this again where I like to play these 2 notes by like that, and then up here to a, and I like to play these 2. Pretend there's a string in between. Sometimes you have to build your calluses by rubbing your fingers like this in between the strings. Build up the side calluses. It's like playing an A chord like this. All right. So, measure 25 and 26 sound like this. And then I'm going to grab this, let go, keep that top note. And then grab that note here. Measure 27 now. 1, I've got an A. Then I'm going to go. Okay, so you hear that descending line, isn't that pretty? Then to an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, and then to F major 7. Now that's not written in the chart. The chart is just to an F, but sometimes you can tell everybody ahead of time you're going to do that. So, and then after I've got this F major 7, then I'm going to grab this G sharp, which is going to take us to 29. So 25 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 2. And then a B minor, 7 flat 5. So I'm just going like that. 1, 2, and 3, and so it's 1, 2, and 3, and a 4 there. And then I'm going to come up here. So it's taking this augmented chord, and then up here on the 9th fret. And then I'm going to come back down to our open chord, but I'm going to put that melody note in there. And then I'm going to play a little, I'm going to go. So measures 29, something like this. 1, 2, and 3. 3, 4. Let me play it from 25. 1, 2. All right, now let's take the second half of the song, 17 through 32, with the metronome, again at 80 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. All right, let's go over the coda now. And the coda is only played at the very end of the song. So measures 31 and 32 would take us back to the top. We'd go back and play our solos. At the very end, we would do this thing at the end. Now I'm going to show you two different ways of doing it. The traditional way, and then one with a descending bass line. If you're playing it solo fingerstyle guitar, I'm voicing it like this. If you're playing solo guitar, you might want to do it and we'll show, actually I'm not going to show that, but you get the idea. Try to cover as many bass notes as you possibly can. But anyway, let's do the coda. Here we go. We'd be coming from here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play the... And this happens just at the very end of the song. And we're going to go to... it says D minor 7, but I'm going to play a C6-9 because it's got a couple of notes from the D in there, and it's easier. And so I'm going to go C6-9, then up here to D minor 7, and then A minor 7, like minor 9, like this. And then to a E minor 7. This E minor 7, and then back to my big fancy chord. All right, so let me play from measure 34. It'd sound like this: 1, 2, 3. Now, I've taken the liberty to reharmonize the ending of this. And if you play it with a group, you might want to get it squared away on the ending. But I think it's a better ending than just repeating that phrase that we just did again. And that's this. I'm going to an A augmented, which takes me to my D minor, and I'm going to keep that A in the bass. And so I'm going to kind of bar here. If you can see, I've got an A and F, a little finger on a C, and then that finger's barring the D. So I've got, and then to a G sharp diminished. This finger comes down and covers the A. So those two measures sound like this. And by the way, instead of playing this like down here, I could play it right here. It might be easier. See? That's okay, so. And now I'm going to go to a C with a G in the bass. Then an F sharp. So I've got F sharp, E, F sharp, D, or B, F9, and then to an E7, and then to an E7 sharp 9, and then to my E minor 7. So that sounds like this. Whoop. I'm sorry. And there's my song. So the whole coda sounds like this. And I could throw an A bass in here if I wanted to. Next. Whoop. Jeez, I'm sorry. And there's the song. All right, are you ready to now try it with the track? Now, we've been doing the metronome at 80 beats. We're going to go up 20 beats per minute to 100. And I'll be honest with you, it's tricky. It's not easy. So if you can't do it right away, remember, it's going to take some practice. Of course, that dreaded word, practice. You know what I like to do? Remember, when you're working on a fingerstyle piece, I like to play it several times during the day. In other words, you don't have to sit down a woodshed on the thing for hours at a time. Go about your daily business, pick up the guitar, every time you walk by, and try to play it. Every time you walk by it, play it, put it down. Play it, put it down. Play it, put it down. Every time you do that, the noggin keeps hashing out what's supposed to be happening with this song. So that's what I like to do. You don't necessarily have to sit there hours on end to do this, you know. So if you have an office job, take your guitar to work so you can do that. Don't get fired, though. All right, let's try it with the track. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. right, there is Black Orpheus, or Day in the Life of a Fool, or Carnival. Now, if you're going to play this as a solo piece, you might want to, in the very end, cover some bass notes. So you might go something like, and play it rubato. So, you know, you fill it up, and then you can go to the... Now, the other thing is, if you notice on measure 30, I went to this, A minor, instead of way down here because we were so far out of position. So I wanted to make note of that. So anyway, I think that's about it for the song. It's a great little tune. A lot of people, I think, play it a little too fast sometimes. It should be played pretty slow, I think. Something like that. And, you know, try to put as many bass notes as you can if you're playing solo. If you're playing with the group, you don't need them. So, anyway, I will talk to you later. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you soon. Practice hard, okay? Get this under your belt. Bye for now.